After the banquet, night fell over the earth and the cool breeze of the city enveloped everyone outside of Capsule Corporation. Beerus, Goku, Vegeta, Bulma and Whis had gone out into the courtyard, admiring the stars that twinkled in the sky. Goku was particularly excited, even after all the food he had devoured. The revelation of Beerus's scars during dinner seemed to have piqued his natural curiosity. Goku said, "Hey Beerus, now that we've seen your scars, I've been wondering, how did you get some of them?" Beerus, who had been calmly looking at the sky, turned to Goku with an irritated expression. Beerus replied, "Tsk, you again with that? It's none of your business how I got those scars, Goku. Those are stories I'd rather forget." But Goku's curiosity was relentless. He was fascinated by the idea that Beerus, such a powerful being, had faced intense enough battles to earn scars, which to him only increased his respect for the god of destruction. Goku said, "Oh, come on, Beerus, just a story. I bet everyone here wants to know." Vegeta, who had his arms crossed, gave a slight smile but said nothing. He was also curious, although he wasn't the type to admit it so easily. Bulma next to Whis took the opportunity to press Beerus a little more. Bulma said, "Come on Beerus, after all the feast I prepared for you, I think you can tell us a story, right? It doesn't have to be about all the scars, just about who caused the biggest ones." Beerus snorted, clearly irritated by the direction the conversation was going. He didn't want to talk about his scars, especially since they reminded him that at some point he had been hurt, something he preferred to hide anyway. Beerus replied, "You guys don't give up, do you? I told you this isn't something for you to worry about. These scars are from my past, and frankly, they're none of your business." Whis, watching the situation with his usual calm smile, saw an opportunity to clarify a few things. He knew Beerus well and knew how much the god of destruction hated talking about his defeats or moments of weakness. But at the same time, Whis felt it might be instructive to tell everyone about an important battle in Beerus's past. Whis said, "Well, if Beerus-sama refuses to talk about his scars, perhaps I can share one of the more interesting stories about how he acquired some of them." Beerus quickly turned to Whis with a look that was a mix of shock and anger. Beerus replied, "Whis, don't even think about it. I didn't authorize you to tell anything." Whis, however, continued as if Beerus hadn't said anything, still maintaining his calm and gentle tone. Whis said, "Some of Beerus-sama's deepest and most significant scars were acquired during a battle with Quitela, the god of destruction of the fourth universe." Upon hearing Quitela's name, Beerus's face immediately fell. Goku and Vegeta, who had already heard of the grudge between the two gods, were intrigued. Goku said, "Quitela? That rat? I knew you two didn't get along, but I didn't know you had actually fought." Vegeta replied, That makes sense. Beerus and Quitela are like fire and water. It was only a matter of time before they ended up in a fight." Bulma, who was not so familiar with the rivalry between Beerus and Quitela, looked at Whis curiously. Bulma said, "And what happened in that fight? How did Beerus end up so injured?" Whis, always cautious with his words, paused before continuing. Whis replied, "The battle between the two was intense. Quitela, being one of the most cunning gods, managed to hurt Beerus in ways that few others have managed. They faced each other in a contest of power and strategy, and although Beerus emerged victorious in the end, he suffered some considerable injuries. The scars he bears on his abdomen and right arm are a result of that fight." Beerus remained silent, but it was clear that the mention of Quitela bothered him. He crossed his arms and turned his face away, clearly embarrassed at having his weaknesses revealed. Beerus said, "I would prefer that no one know about this, Whis. Quitela is a despicable rat, and I don't want him to brag about something so insignificant. These scars are just reminders of a battle I'd like to forget." Goku, however, was even more intrigued. Goku said, "So you really got hurt badly against Quitela? That must have been an incredible fight. I would have loved to have seen that." Vegeta, with a wry smile, teased Beerus. Vegeta said, "So Quitela managed to hurt you. Don't tell me the almighty Beerus had a hard time against a god like him." Beerus, visibly irritated, rolled his eyes at Vegeta, and for a moment the tension in the air increased. He hated to admit, even indirectly, that Quitela had been a real threat. Beerus's pride was something monumental, and any reminder that he had been hurt, especially by an opponent he despised, was a humiliation that he avoided at all costs. Beerus replied, "Don't get too excited, Vegeta. Quitela may have injured me, but in the end I defeated him. These scars are a reminder that even the most despicable gods can be dangerous. But make no mistake, just because he injured me doesn't mean he's stronger. The victory was mine." Whis, sensing the tension, intervened again. Whis said, "Exactly. Beerus-sama emerged victorious. However, it was a difficult battle and Quitela should certainly not be underestimated. He is extremely intelligent and uses strategies that can surprise even the most experienced of gods. Bulma, with her characteristic sensitivity, noticed Beerus's discomfort and tried to change the tone of the conversation. Bulma said, "Well, I think we all have scars, physical or emotional, that we'd rather forget, but they are part of who we are. In your case, Beerus, I think they only show how powerful and resilient you are. After all, you survived fights that few others could." Goku agreed with Bulma and replied, "That's true, and knowing that even you, Beerus, have faced such strong opponents only makes me more motivated. I want to reach the level where I can fight on equal terms with gods like you." Beerus said, Good luck with that, Goku. You'll need more than motivation to reach my level." Despite Beerus's initial irritation, the conversation eventually became lighter. Deep down, he knew that, although he hated admitting his vulnerabilities, he had created a kind of bond with those people, something he wouldn't have with other beings. If it had been under any other circumstances, if other gods of destruction had known about his scars, Beerus would have eliminated them without hesitation to keep his reputation intact. Beerus said, "Don't think I'm always so lenient. If I didn't have a certain amount of consideration for some of you, you would all have been eliminated by now for daring to bring up this subject. But don't think that makes me weaker." Whis smiled, knowing that despite Beerus's stern attitude, he had a connection with Goku, Vegeta, and Bulma that went beyond his simple role as a destroyer. Even with his scars and past wounds, Beerus was still a powerful being, feared and respected throughout the multiverse. Whis said, "That's true, Beerus-sama, but I think that, deep down, this connection you created here on Earth may be one of the reasons why you feel comfortable sharing a bit of your past." Beerus snorted again, but this time without so much anger. Beerus replied, "Tisk, don't get used to it. You caught me on a good day, that's all." The night remained calm, with the group still gathered in the courtyard of Capsule Corporation. Beerus's initial discomfort seemed to be dissipating, although he maintained his air of superiority, as always. Goku, still impressed by Whis' revelation, approached Beerus a little closer with a sincere smile on his face. Goku said, "I really admire you, Beerus. Even with all those scars, you're still the strongest guy I've ever met. I hope that one day I can fight you again, and who knows, even surpass you." Beerus, without taking his eyes off the sky, sighed with a mixture of tiredness and acceptance. Beerus replied, "You'll never change, will you? But I'll tell you one thing, Goku. If you ever really manage to surpass me, maybe I'll tell you about other battles, but don't get too excited." Vegeta, who had been silent until then, took a step forward, crossing his arms. Vegeta said, "If Kakarot gets there first, I'll be right behind him. Don't think he'll beat you by himself." Bulma smiled, observing the bond that had somehow formed between the warriors and the god of destruction. Bulma said, "If you keep worrying so much about fighting, you'll end up eating another feast soon." Beerus said, "I know I shouldn't say this since it's obvious, but don't reveal anything about my scars or my battle against Quitela, or I'll remind you why I'm the god of destruction and the most powerful being in this universe." Beerus said with an arrogant but serious smile on his face, showing that he wasn't joking with his words, but rather giving everyone a warning. With all that, Whis approached Beerus, and soon the two left, leaving Goku, Vegeta, and Bulma slightly afraid of Beerus's words and his subtle warning. Guys, this is how we end our story. Did you know about these secrets about Beerus and his scars? Did you like the story? If you want to see more epic stories like this, leave your like and also subscribe to the channel. Bye.